Oui, bonsoir et bienvenue dans la classe de français avec Monsieur Tinsley. Alors, qui suis-je? Je m'appelle Benjamin Tinsley, mais les élèves m'appellent Monsieur ou Monsieur Tins ou Tins. Je suis prof depuis 12 ans et j'ai fait mes études de français à Temple University, mais je suis en train de terminer mon master's à Rosemont College. Et aussi, j'ai deux fils ici à GA, Hugo qui est en kindergarten et Simi qui est en second grade. So some of my goals for myself this year is one, to deliver equally challenging and fun instruction. I'm a firm believer that we're able to accomplish so much more in a classroom when there's a healthy balance between those two. And in doing so, we have to use a variety of games and movements and different activities that really understand that every student has a unique learning style, and that it's incumbent upon me to not only learn those learning styles, but to accommodate them. To get students to acquire language and cultural knowledge in deep, lasting ways. In other words, that the students aren't just memorizing things for a quiz that they have tomorrow, but that we're really giving them skills that they can carry 10 years, 15, 20 years from now. And to connect them with the vast and beautiful cultures within the Francophone world. So many places in the world that use French as a primary and secondary language that just have so many beautiful things to offer. And it's important that these students get exposed to those things. And importantly, to prepare them to excel in whatever sorts of academic or professional endeavors that they should take on in their lives moving forward. So my goals for the students specifically, one is that they can comfortably and confidently express their ideas in the target language. That requires a lot, again, speaking to their language acquisition, and that they use the language that they have, that they strengthen their skills across all subjects. If you're successful in Mr. Tinsley's class, ideally, that means that you're learning skills and developing skills that are applicable to your classes outside of French. And that I help them sort of reach whatever goals that they have as I get to know them better this year, that I can find out some of the things that they look to accomplish, and that maybe I'd be able to design some things within our classroom to help them achieve those goals. So about French class this year, this is part of a series with me, which is beautiful that we get to cycle with one another and really start to cement those skills that will help lend to genuine language acquisition. And in doing so, that they develop their writing, speaking, listening, reading, and cultural proficiency in ways that are lasting, emphasizing skills that will foster continued growth in those sorts of areas. And in terms of language acquisition, again, that they're using French in meaningful context, ways that are meaningful to them, where they're able to negotiate their language and to really use it in ways that they can apply in real life situations. And that involves being immersive, using French in the classroom, and importantly, this year that we connect with real classrooms, taking advantage of the many technological resources that we have, that they can get genuine insight as to what students around the world are doing. So some of the expectations and commitments that we have in this class is that they use the language. We speak French in this classroom, and they always have to try, and you have to use the language that you know in order to do what we call circumlocute, or to get around sometimes if you don't have the specific vocabulary to express the idea that you're trying to express. That the students keep up with assignments. I tend to not overwhelm with assignments, but I'm a very firm believer in having assignments be meaningful and purposeful so that the students can see how they can really help them to gain higher levels of proficiency, and that they be prepared for class. This includes all sorts of materials, pens, pencils, whatever it is that we need in class, that they show up every day prepared. And importantly, that we treat one another with respect. There are few things that are more important than having an environment in which everyone feels safe, where they feel like they can take intellectual risks. And at the foundation of that is that we treat each other with respect. And to push themselves to understand that their comfort zones are not where they will wind up this year. That in order to progress, that we have to sort of step outside of what we're comfortable with. And that involves taking intellectual and academic risks. So in the class, we use everything is based from Google Classroom, but we also use a number of different platforms to enhance our learning in the class, including Duolingo, Quizlet, and importantly, that we learn how to type accent marks